Hello everyone, Paul Martin here, and this is the situation for August 16, 2017. This is a special edition of the situation. I had planned on doing one like I do every weekend, but based on what's going on and a lot of the news reports that I'm reading and a lot of inquiries from folks, I wanted to go ahead and get some information out to a number of people who have been asking me about some of the better ways to get prepared on a very short time frame. You've seen the news stories since Saturday. Many of these protests are starting and spontaneously, and there's a sense of unease among a number of people right now, and it's understandable. And so we're not going to talk about news articles right now for this episode. This is all strictly how-to and getting prepared very quickly. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw your attention to a couple of the links below. From MD Creekmore. Mickey Creekmore has done a really good job for a number of years cataloging ways to get prepared very quickly. And so he has two articles that I've linked to below. One is getting prepared quickly and on a budget, and the other article is getting prepared quickly if you have $10,000 to spend. And so I encourage you, regardless of your budget, to take a look at both of those articles and get some ideas. So for those of you who are struggling and say, I feel like I need to be getting better prepared because things out there in the world are very tense right now, this is a good opportunity for you to take a look at these things and start your preparedness plan. And folks, you don't have to do all this preparedness at once. This is not just one trip to Walmart or one trip to your favorite outdoor place. You can do this over time. Start coming up with a plan so that you get things done in a timely, regular fashion. But I want you to have some tools in the toolbox, some references to start making those plans. Second thing I want to talk to you is basically the 5 things that I think you need to be doing right now to get yourself better prepared, in addition to the information in the links below. First and foremost is you need to take a first aid or CPR class. The things that will kill you from violence and everything else, the reality is that you're much more likely to die of heart disease or an accident or something like that than you are in some sort of expression of civil unrest. Execute the basics well. And one of the things you can do to help yourself and to help others and be a leader in the community is to know first aid and CPR. Now, sometimes those courses are expensive. What I would encourage you to do is to visit with your employer and see if your employer will provide that training to you and your fellow employees. It's a great goodwill gesture that employers do, and for just a few dollars a person, if they do it in mass, you can get a lot of people trained in CPR and first aid very quickly, and they have a great skill set to help their fellow employees and employers during a medical emergency. So, number one, get some CPR training, get some first aid training. If your employer can't do it and you are on a budget, call your local EMS, call your local fire department, and just say, look, I just need a refresher on CPR and first aid. Is there anyone there that can help me? And more than likely, they'll find someone that can help you, give you a short course, teach you a few things, and do it for essentially nothing. So consider that as an option. Number 2, build an emergency kit for your car or for your office, wherever you work. And I did a video, I think last week, on the kit I did for my kid. That's a pretty elaborate kit because she's 11 hours away and I don't know what threat she faces. And so it's a full spectrum kit. You can make one much smaller, much cheaper than the one I did for her, particularly if you just live a few miles from your workplace. So have something in your car. Speaking of things in your car, number 3, have a change of clothes in your car, especially comfortable walking shoes. Comfortable walking shoes. Think back to the blackout from 2002 in New York City, where people had to walk a considerable distance to get home because there was no electricity. You need to be able to go to your car, change clothes, have a comfortable pair of walking shoes, and then be able to get yourself home or get yourself to your kid's school and get them, because you don't know what's going to happen, okay? Number 4, have some cash and coin with you at all times. And I'm not talking about a lot of cash. I'm just talking about a few dollars in coins and a few dollars in case you have to buy gasoline and the ATM machines don't work or there's some problem with bank cards or whatever. Have a few dollars, have a few coins with you so that if you need cash and for whatever reason your credit card doesn't work, your debit card doesn't work, you have a way to get what you need. And then number 5, start having what I call the conversation with your kids. Start talking to them about the need for your family to be better prepared. And if you don't want to couch it in terms of civil unrest because of what's going on, talk to them about severe weather. Talk to them about snowstorms and ice storms. Talk to them about tornadoes. Kids are much more resilient than we give them credit for. Just start talking to them and say, we need to be better prepared for the emergencies. Ask them what sort of emergencies they want to be prepared for. Start that conversation so that they feel more comfortable talking to you about what you are doing, about your preparedness efforts. So now, I'm going to shift gears because, again, we're not talking about any news articles. I'm just giving you information as fast as I can. We're going to talk about self-defense for a moment. I'm linking to an article from Greg Ellifritz, who did a great compendium on surviving in civil unrest situations like we saw in Charlottesville this weekend. Take a look at some of those articles. They are really good. Folks, here, in terms of situational awareness, if you live in a place or work near a place that has monuments or busts or whatever that may be considered controversial, you need to start paying attention. And I'll be totally honest. I don't pay attention. I mean, I'm on a lot of state capitol grounds because of my day job. I don't pay attention to any of the monuments, any of the busts, any of the statues. I don't know who these people are because I just don't care. I got to start caring because obviously what we're seeing right now is that these are focal points, okay? And this video channel, this is not about talking about social issues or political issues. If you want that, go somewhere else. Go on your Facebook feed. I guarantee you'll find somebody who's saying exactly what you want to hear. I'm more concerned about you and I being prepared for the possibility of emergencies, small and large. Okay, so one of the things I think we should all start doing is finding out where are these monuments, where are these things that may attract people and may attract crowds and may attract people who want to protest. Okay, start looking for those, paying attention to those. Finally, for the gun crowd, if you are a license holder, license to carry holder, concealed carry holder, whatever it is called in your state, to quote the great Tom Givens, carry your damn gun. A lot of people come to my class and take my license to carry class, and they get the license and they never carry their gun. Start carrying your gun. Be safe with it. And folks, when I say carry your gun, I'm not telling you to go out and look for trouble. I'm not telling you to engage in violent protest. I'm telling you, be ready to defend yourself if you find yourself caught in the middle. Okay? Be ready to defend yourself. And on those same terms, as long as we're quoting people, let's quote the great Caleb Causey, carry your trauma kit with you as well. Because the emergency you may face may have nothing to do with violence. It may simply be an accident in a shop, or you're in a garage, or in the workplace. Have some medical equipment on you at all times, your tourniquet, your bandages, those sorts of things that you can quickly access to save your life or to save someone else's life. Caleb would also tell you to drink water. So drink a lot of water as well. All right, now, participation in what's going on. I will tell you right now that if there is another protest at Texas A&M, right now there was one previously scheduled for September 11th. That one has been canceled. There may be some legal action taken as a result of that. I don't know how it's going to result out. I will likely attend as a counter-protester. And I'm going as a counter-protester because I think the preparedness movement and the preparedness community should be the ambassadors of how to demonstrate peaceful opposition and set an example. You and I can set an example on how to protest and how to represent your issues and take a side without beating the hell out of one another. Okay? So I plan to attend, assuming that the schedule works out, and if I can get time off work, depending on where I am, I travel a lot for the job. But if it works out, I would like to attend because, as I mentioned in the last video, protesting Klan rallies is not my first rodeo. Been there, done it. The one I did in Miami in 1993 was a tea party, a cakewalk, compared to what we saw in Charlottesville. So the speed of the game has clearly moved up. And so as we approach that, if these things happen, I'll be talking to you more about my plans to attend this. And if you're in the area and you want to go with me to peacefully demonstrate against these white nationalists or Nazis or whoever's going to show up, we'd love to have you on board. Along those lines, I'm going to conclude with an article from the King Institute on the 6 Principles of Nonviolence, because apparently we need a refresher in this country on the principles of nonviolence. And in fact, if you don't read any link that I've posted below, just read that one link. It'll take you about 1 minute to read that link and give you some understanding and give you some tools on how we in the preparedness community can start to pull back and be leaders and pull us back from what I think is a very dangerous situation. We are being torn at our very fabric, and a lot of good people, conservatives, liberals, doesn't matter, a lot of good people are looking for leadership. And I told a friend of mine tonight, a big part of this problem is that we have no effective leadership anywhere that I can see on this issue. No one's coming forward to set a path. And so if no one's going to come forward, then you and I might as well start being our own leaders and at least lead those in our circle of influence and start a more peaceful dialogue on how we can set a path moving forward that not only includes everyone, but also puts us on a better path, a better trajectory, builds a better community. So that's what I have for you tonight. I'll have another edition of this later in the week. We'll go through some news articles that I've been pulling together that I've been holding back because of recent events, but we'll cover that. So thank you again for watching. Stay safe out there, and as always, God bless America.